So as again, welcome everybody, and won't let you listen to me anymore. I'll pass it over to Margaret, and she'll start with a little bit of business that we have to do. So, thanks, Margaret.
Thanks, Joan. I just want to again welcome everybody here. I'm not sure why my slideshow isn't moving. There we go. So I just wanted to let everybody know that we are being hosted by the Federated Women's Institutes of Canada and the Adelaide Hunter Hoodless Homestead. This is a free online gathering, and it is courtesy of the New Horizons for Seniors Life Hacks grant. So just a few rules for our gathering today. By the way, my name is Margaret Weil, and I'm the Federated Women's Institutes of Canada President-elect. I will be moderating behind the scenes today. So in order for everybody to be able to hear the conversations, I'm going to ask everybody to put yourselves on mute except for Donna and Joan, if you don't mind. And if your internet is a little bit slow, you might want to take yourself off of video. So if you do not wish to have your image visible, please shut off the video option. The Zoom meeting will be recorded and used on social media. If you have any questions, we'll answer them at the end of the presentation, and you may wish to use the chat function or raise your hand, and we'll try and keep track of that for you. I was going to have a poll, and I didn't get a chance to do this because my PowerPoint crashed 3 times on me today. So if you don't mind, I will be sending out a questionnaire to everybody that's in attendance via email. And if you could just fill that in, that helps us with our reporting at the end.
Okay. Hello, everybody again. And our first presenter is a very busy lady, Donna Jebb. She's from Ontario. And I hear that she's also on the council for the township of Newcomisset. You have to tell me, Donna, whether that's right. Anyway, I'll let her say a few words about herself and the other positions that she has. I would also mention that she is on the ACWW Committee for Agriculture. So Donna, you just take over, give us your message and a little bit about yourself, and we'll be pleased to hear from you.
Thank you, Joan. Good evening, everybody. And I want to welcome our Deputy World President and our Chair of our ACWW Agricultural Committee, Alison Burnette. And it's midnight there. So welcome to everybody. And I recognize a few faces from before. And anyways, yes, I saw Margaret had up on the screen our thing from the ACWW. So a little bit about me. I am a counselor for the town of New Tecumseh, and Tecumseh or Tecumseh was the Indian, I think it was Iroquois or Ojibwe, I cannot remember, that helped during the War of 1812. He helped the Loyalists beat the Americans, and everyone around the Hamilton area and Stony Creek probably knows some kind of a story about Tecumseh. So our township has been named after him, and I'm a counselor. As well, I am on the accessibility committee for our town, doctor recruitment, and I seem to have fallen into the job of looking after our community gardens, which our Women's Institute pushed. And we're very pleased that this year we're going to have 70 raised community garden boxes available for the residents of New Tecumseh. So they're kind of exciting. Yeah, yay. That's clapping in sign language. So anyways, I was just going to talk about a few things. I am no expert on raised gardens or container gardens, but this has been my experience. So in our last ACWW magazine, we were talking about our own home garden and food security. That's a big buzzword now with the UN, and all our countries are talking about food security. Food security is defined by the United Nations Committee on World Food Security means that all people at all times have physical, social, and economic access to sufficient, safe, and nutritious food that meets their food preferences and dietary needs for an active and healthy life. And the sustainable goals, if you have ever gone on the UN website and we talk about sustainable goals, and we talk about it in our Countrywoman magazine, sustainable goal number 2 is focusing on zero hunger. So we're really trying to promote people to grow their own vegetables, whether it's in a container, whether you have access to property where you can put a huge garden in. If you did that, I would want to work with somebody, because huge gardens are a big undertaking. So when you do a container garden, it's controllable, it's easy to access, easy to look after. And if it fails, you can throw it out and start all over again if you have a drought. So a couple of tips on container garden is choose your containers wisely. Sometimes you can use terracotta pots, but they tend to dry out. We've seen pictures, I shared some pictures that they have pop bottles, the great big pop bottles turned upside down, and you can use it for drainage, open up the bottom, and then it showed them all under, like in a row underneath, so they water each other. So it was kind of different ideas. So you know what, start looking around on the internet for giving you ideas on different kinds of containers that you can use. But the thing is, you can get a bucket, just go to the hardware store, buy a bucket, but drill some holes in the bottom of your bucket for drainage, and put some, the first time I did it, I put some rocks, I gathered them up from the field. I put some rocks in the bottom. Well, when you went to move it, it was bloody heavy. So I found out, you know, the little plastic containers that you get your plants when you go and purchase your seedlings, crush them up, cut them up, and put them in the bottom of your container. They're lighter because they're plastic, and then that will help with your drainage in the bottom of your container. Some people have even used old wheelbarrows, buckets, old boots, tires, like whatever. But first off, sterilize your container, because it could have maybe had something like a disease in it already from another plant or dirt, whatever. Now in my container here on our raised bed that we have, I just went out to the field and grabbed dirt with the loader tractor, put it in. But if you're using a smaller container, they're suggesting to go to a plant store for a plant like a botanics or a garden gallery, and purchase the soil that would be suitable for the smaller containers, because it is a smaller container, and sometimes the soil will have a premix in it that will have a little bit of starter fertilizer in it. And talking of fertilizers, for natural fertilizer, you can make up a manure tea, or you can purchase the fertilizers that you add with the water, and when you're watering the plant, you're fertilizing it. So there's different types of fertilizers, but so the best person to talk to is someone at the store, at the plant store where you're buying your flowers and your vegetables. Plan it before you plant it is another thing. Some of the container gardens or raised beds, I've seen a 12 by 12. And so they put all their cucumbers here and all their radishes. I can't do that. That drives me crazy. I still do the traditional rows, but some people, they love it doing it that way. To me, I can't do it. It just, mentally, I can't get over that. So, but they also say to plant plants that are compatible with each other. And also research what kind of plants are compatible. And if you've got if you like herbs, that's another thing. Some herbs will be complementary to some plants. But you know what? Don't plant a vegetable that you know you're not going to eat. Eggplant. I am not going to plant eggplants because they're easy. Just because they are easy, I'm not going to plant eggplants because nobody in our house will eat eggplant. So I'll buy one, I'll fry it up and eat it myself, but yeah, it won't go over so well. So buy plants, seeds that you're going to eat. Now the container vegetables, I'll give you 5 that are good for container veggies. They call it the tumbler tomato, which is a cherry tomato. It's easily grown in hanging baskets, and they're one of the first ones to ripen. Salad bush cucumber. It's a bushier cucumber, and it's ideal for pots on patios and decks. And it's ready to harvest in 57 days. I'm talking in Canada, in Ontario, Alison, sorry. Salad bowl lettuce, and the salad bowl lettuce, you can trim it off in a couple more days, it grows back. I remember doing that in my mom and dad's garden. Go out and get some leaf lettuce, a couple of days, you go back and get some more leaf lettuce. And eggplant, Hansel eggplant, and Kentucky Wonder bush beans. So if you like beans, it's another thing. What was I going to say? Oh, make sure your container has got enough sunshine. 6 hours of sunshine is perfect. Some of us, maybe in a hotter area. So make sure if you are in a hotter area, or your raised bed is in a lot of sunshine, maybe put your container kind of in where it's going to get some shade. Tomatoes need a lot of water. However, you don't want to drown them. So keep your soil moist and just stick your finger in. And if you can stick your finger in, it's good. If you can't, then you're drying your tomato out. And if it's really soggy, you're going to know. And the plants don't like really, really wet feet. They're saying to water your garden in the morning, and then your plants will have the water through the day. Some people have tried peas, and you'll need some kind of a climber for your peas. Potatoes, tomatoes, again, carrots, radishes, eggplant, leafy greens, peppers, that's another thing too. And plants that don't do well, large melons, corn, or the pumpkins, squash. Don't do those in a container. Not a good idea. And I've been looking into cold starts. What do they call that? My sister started doing it, and I'm trying to find it. I guess I didn't bring it down with me. But you can start plants in colder weather, and you put glass over top, and you can have a frame, and an old window works, and then it gives a little bit of circulation of air, but the sun warms up through the glass, and it will bring your plants on. And it'll also work in the fall, so you can do like a second crop maybe of lettuce or kohlrabi, or there was another one I can't remember now, but those are the kind of things that you can do early spring or later in the fall. Gives you a little bit extra growing season. So I don't know if there's anybody wants to have any discussion or any questions. I don't profess to be an expert, but that's what I'm sharing you with. And I will go to my window and I'll show you my messy box. If I can get this turned around. Okay, don't laugh. There's a dead tomato plant out there. So that's at hip level, and let's say it's about 6 feet long and about 3 feet wide. And when we were putting the dirt in there, and I've got old plastic containers in the bottom, and I've got my rain gauge out there, and I have my little Scottish gnome in there too. But when I was putting the dirt in, and a friend came along and they wanted to know if I was getting rid of Barry. So planting him. And then he came around the corner. She says, "Oh, I guess we're not." So those are my comments and my ideas of raised bed gardening. And if there's anything, Joan, I'll hand it back over to you.
There is
Okay,
one,
got a question.
sorry, Joan, there's just
There's
one
some-
comment here. If you're reusing containers from last year, we sterilized the containers. Can we reuse the soil?
I would say no, because the soil has probably, it's dried out, unless you want to fertilize it and work it, maybe put a little bit of manure in it. Depends on how big your container is and what, if you wanted to put manure in it and work it and turn it over and maybe add some compost to it. I just throwing in dirt from last year, I don't know, it might be tired.
And what is the best way to sterilize the containers?
Oh, where is that? That is, I want to tell you the right thing. It says use environmentally friendly all-purpose cleaner to scrub your pots, then rinse before drying. Maybe Dawn soap, which is we use Dawn soap for cleaning, and you've seen the ads where they're cleaning the oil off the ducts. We use the Dawn soap. So something that's environmentally friendly and just very light, not a real heavy dose to water, like maybe 60-40 kind of thing. So it's not heavy. Oh, Anne
Anybody
Marie, I
else?
think I saw something about a seed. I don't start my seeds indoors. My son has started his. I don't know, has anybody else do they start their seeds inside? Michelle?
I started beans, zucchini, tomatoes, so cherry and beefsteak and parsley. And it seems such strange vegetables, but hopefully I'm going to try squash in my containers, but how deep do you think I should go? Like, how big a container?
Where are you going to do? Are you going to do one plant in the container?
Yes. Or if it's 3 feet long by 2 feet deep, I might do 2 squash and something between them.
I would do what they recommend on the package for your depth wise.
Okay. Okay.
Anybody else?
Gail,
I see Linda mentioned that she uses an old bed frame for a garden bed. One way to recycle, Linda, that's good. So
Gail
if there
had
isn't
her
any more,
hand up.
yes. Gail, yes, I have some great big pots. They're about, maybe 2 feet across, and I plant 2 sunflower seeds in each one, and about 3 or 4 cucumbers in each one. And the cucumbers grow up sunflowers. And I have cucumbers all year. And I just cover them up in the fall when it first gets cool, and right until it freezes right up, I have cucumbers. And the sunflowers, they just love the cucumbers growing up them. Mine's just in big pots.
What size
Good
of pot
companions.
do you use, Gail?
Well, I'd say
Oh.
my pots are fairly big. I'd say they're pretty well 2 feet across. They're just big round pots that, you get like planter pots type thing.
Yep.
Planter pots, yeah.
Well, if you look in the home and country, the ACWW Country Woman, we're asking for, it's a home garden challenge. So we're asking people to try it this year, try your garden, try a container garden, and keep a diary, and then let us know, share your results, and take some pictures and send them on to us. And if you want to send it to me or to Alison, and then we'll share it on with ACWW. But we're putting the challenge out for people to take it on this year as a little project, and it'll give you something to do. It's healthy, there's exercise to it, and you're outside enjoying the weather. And where our community gardens are, you're socializing at a distance, and you'll get to see people and compare notes on your other gardens. So that's what we're hoping for, is that people will keep a little record and share it with the rest of us.
I like that idea, Donna, and thank you very much for your presentation. And I think that we should put that little container garden idea into our next connection, because it is a perfect season to start the project and to share our ideas. So thank you, Donna. And perhaps I'll get Angela to get some information for you so that we can publicize that little project. So thank you, Donna, again, for being here. So
with the Zoom, you can go anywhere in the world to get speakers for nothing. So
yeah,
when you're thinking about your program, consider that.
So long as
Anyway,
they can
thanks
stay in
very-
their pajamas.
Yeah, well, that's the beauty of it. It's just, I think that's one of the good things about Zoom, is that you can do that. You can get speakers from anywhere, and just find out more about what's happening in the world with women and the issues that they have, which are very similar, the issues, just on a maybe different scale. But anyway, thank you very much. I'm going to love you and leave you, and hopefully I'll see some of you again. Bye just now.
okay.
Right, Alison.
Bye.
Thank you very much, Donna, for your presentation and those words from Alison. And Margaret, thank you very much for your expertise too. And Margaret gave me the job of finding some presenters for this. And of course, I do everything that Margaret tells me. And so the first thing I thought, well, I better get some expert advice. And up in my neck of the wood in the northern Alberta or northern BC, I'm just on the border here, is a greenhouse that has, they're massive, owned by a family. And I phoned up the lady, and I said to her what I wanted. And I must have babbled for a long time. And she says, okay, I'll get someone to do it. I'll let you know tomorrow. And so she got back to me the next day and said, yes, she found a sucker. It was her daughter. So, so she sent me the video. I haven't even seen it. Margaret has put it together and edited. So here we go, from Marianne Rice from Hillside Gardens in Dawson Creek.